Hello, everyone. This is From Milwaukee to Nashville. I'm your host, Daniel Goodwin. And over there, John Lewandowski. Our show is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Hockey Locker, 2002 West Howard Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can call them at 414-800-7585 or visit their website at hockeylockermilwaukee.com.
All right. Well, today is a triple, and I know that we have been on holiday break for a while, but we are back as of tonight. All right. So the first game we have on docket for you is the St. Louis Blues and the Nashville Predators. All right, shots on goal in the first period, St. Louis outshot Nashville 11-10. In the second period, St. Louis outshoots Nashville 9-8. In the third period, Nashville outshoots St. Louis 12-9. And in total, Nashville actually ends up outshooting St. Louis 30-29. In the face-off circle, St. Louis was a little bit better at 52.4% to Nashville's 47.6%. On the power play, the Predators go 2 for 4, while the Blues go 1 for 4. Both teams had 15 penalty minutes. The Predators had 27 hits to St. Louis's 26. St. Louis had 19 block shots to Nashville's 7. The Predators had 15 giveaways to the Blues 12, and the Predators had 5 takeaways to the Blues 2. All right, so let's get into scoring. Scoring in the first period, a minute 20 seconds into the game, was Robert Thomas scoring his 7th on the year unassisted. And a little bit later, at the 2:47 mark for St. Louis, Zach Bolduc scores his 5th of the year, assisted by Sundqvist, his 2nd, and Folk his 9th. Then at the 5:42 mark, Nashville gets on the board with a goal from Mark Jankowski, his 3rd of the season, assisted by Sissons, his 2nd, and McCarron, his 3rd. Then at the 9:57 mark, St. Louis gets on the board again with a goal from Jordan Kyrou, his 15th on the season, assisted by Fowler, his 7th, and Holloway, his 10th. Then at the 13:17 mark, Nashville gets a power play goal from Steven Stamkos, scoring his 11th on the season, assisted by Marchessault, his 13th, and O'Reilly, also his 13th. Then at the 18:05 mark for St. Louis again was a goal by Cam Fowler, his 1st on the season, assisted by Holloway, his 11th.
That's also Cam Fowler's first goal, not in a Ducks jersey.
Right.
All right. In the second, you have Nick Blankenburg scoring his 2nd unassisted. Also, right at the what was it? That at the 5:31 mark, and then at the 15:29 mark, Philip Broberg scores his 3rd unassisted. Then in the third period, Jonathan Marchessault scores his 13th with an assist from Stamkos, his 11th, and Forsberg his 21st. That was on the power play. Marchessault is still riding a very hot point streak.
Yeah.
And that top line of Stamkos and Forsberg. Forsberg has not scored a goal since November. Then at the 15:10 mark, Robert Thomas scores on the power play, his 8th with an assist from Jordan Kyrou, his 16th, and Cam Fowler, his 8th. And then Colton Parayko scores his 6th on a shorthanded empty net goal with an assist from Nathan Walker, his 3rd. And in net for the Preds was both goalies. Okay. Stop 10 of 15 gave up 5. Oof. With a 66.7 save percentage. And then Eustace Newton stops 12 of 13 with 1 given up with a 92.3 save percentage. Saros has just not been earning that big paycheck, I'm telling you. Joel Hofer starts for the Blues, getting 26 saves on 30 shots with 4 goals against, 2 on even strength, 2 on the power play. Nashville is currently I believe, at this point now. Um, in seventh place in the division. Um, Fortunately for them, the Blackhawks did lose. So they are now in 30th place. It goes the Blackhawks, the Sharks, the Preds, and then the Sabres. You're still worse than the Sabres, so I don't know how that works. So, all righty, on to Atlanta.
All right. Well, Greenville took
Player play.
on yeah. Greenville took on the Atlanta Gladiators today. All right. In the first period, Atlanta outshoots Greenville 17-9. In the second period, Atlanta outshoots Greenville 15-12. In the third period, Greenville outshoots Atlanta 10-9, and in total, Atlanta outshoots Greenville 46-34. On the power play, Greenville goes 2 for 5 with 4 minutes, 2 infractions, while Atlanta goes 0 for 2 with 12 minutes, 6 infractions. All right, scoring in the first period at the 11:39 mark is a goal by Bryce Brzezinski, assisted by Carter Suave and Colton Young for the Swamp Rabbits. Then Atlanta scores at the 15:39 mark with a goal from Anthony Ferrillo, assisted by Eric Neely and Cody Sylvester. Then at the 18:03 mark, Atlanta scores again with a goal from Patrick Marcivenicus, assisted by Anthony Ferrillo and Dylan Carbia. Then at the 18:29 mark, Atlanta scores the goal from Michael Marchezon, assisted by Anthony Ferrillo. In the second period at the 5:58 mark, Atlanta scores again with a goal from Easton Armstrong, assisted by Zach Yoder. That was at the 5:58 mark. At the 7:47 mark, the Swamp Rabbits score again with a goal from Stuart Roloffs, assisted by Patrick Moynihan and Tyson Fawcett. Then at the 14-minute mark of the second, Atlanta scores again with a goal from Ryan Cranford, assisted by Derek Topatai and Dylan Carbia.
All right, then in the third, it was all Swamp Rabbits. Bobby Russell scores with an assist from Brett Pedersen and Patrick Moynihan. Um, then at the 7:15 mark, they score again with with a goal from Ben Osayan and with an assist from Tate Singleton and Bobby Russell. Then Brett Pedersen scores again with an assist from Parker Berge and Stuart Roloffs. Just gonna call you Rolos. All right, then at the 5:10 mark, unlike the AHL where it's only 5-minute overtime, they get 6 in the E. And the first 3 minutes are 4-on-4, and then the last 3 minutes are 3-on-3. It's
Right,
interesting how that works out. But
right.
Eric Neely scores with an assist from Ryan Cranford and Anthony Ferrillo.
Right, and Atlanta gets the better of them in shots at 5-3 in the overtime.
Atlanta's been playing was playing really good going into the break.
Yeah,
So was Nashville, and I don't think Nashville played horrible today. I think they made some mistakes, but
yeah,
4 goals is not a bad night.
right.
All right, into the game I was actually at.
All right, so the Milwaukee Admirals took on the Chicago Wolves today. Shots on goal in the first period, Chicago outshoots Milwaukee 14-11. In the second period, Chicago outshoots Milwaukee 16-2. In the third period, Chicago outshoots Milwaukee 14-5. And in total, Chicago way outshoots Milwaukee 44-18. Now, on the power play, Chicago went 0 for 4 with 6 minutes, 3 infractions, while Milwaukee goes 1 for 3 with 8 minutes, 4 infractions. Okay, so scoring. Scoring in the first period at the 11:25 mark for the Admirals was Kiefer Bello, scoring his 11th on the season, assisted by Fedor Svechkov, his sixth, and Ryan Ufko, his sixth. Then at the 1903 mark on the power play, Ryan Ufko scores his second of the season, assisted by Ozzy Weisblatt, his sixth, and Cal O'Reilly, his 10th. Then in the second, there was no scoring. In the third, at the 6:55 mark for the Admirals, Kiefer Bellows scores his 12th of the season, unassisted. Then at the 18:54 mark, Chicago scores the goal from Ronan Seeley, his second on the season, assisted by Dominic Fensor, his 10th, and Justin Robidas, his 10th. Then at the 1953 mark, the Admirals get the empty net goal from Ozzy Weisblatt, scoring his sixth on the season, assisted by Jake Livingstone, his third. So
In
despite being outshot 44 to 18, Milwaukee pulls off the 4-1 victory.
yeah, in net for the Wolves is a highly touted prospect for the Carolina Hurricanes, Spencer Martin, who got tagged today for 3. Matt Murray or Matthew Murray, depending on what he wants to go by today, stopped 43 of 44. And we
Heck of
hadn't
a night
played
for your goalie.
the 21st. And he hadn't played since the 20th.
Yeah. So a whole week.
I will say that Corona's going to be in that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd assume that too.
um, Given everything on that, Murray stood on his dang head and stopped everything, but it wasn't like they were giving up a whole like okay, the shots they were giving up weren't quality shots,
Right.
you know? And when quality shots were given up, Murray was there.
Right.
I think it was like a fourth chance. Murray, like, they were just over there battling on Seeley's goal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it did not go their way. Bellows had a really good game. Oh, Cal had a good game. Weisblatt had a good game. Ofco had a good game. But Anthony Angelo, I'm going to say this, and everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say this. You were all alone and pulled a Patrick Steffen, except for you didn't fall on your butt on an empty net. You miss! In the words of Happy Gilmore, all you had to do was tap it in. But that's my only gripe. Call me greedy, but you get where I'm going.
Yeah.
That would have been that's the icer. 3 stars of the game. Third star of the game was Ryan Ufko. Second star of the game was Kiefer Bellows with 2 goals. Ufko had a goal and an assist. And Matt Murray, number 1 star, 43 saves. And Murray really, really, the fans got behind him
Yeah.
as the game went on. Because we didn't do a whole lot that second or third.
Right.
It's just, okay, let's just micromanage the game at this point and save some for tomorrow.
Right.
Because they do play the Wolves tomorrow. As far as tomorrow, I'm not 100% sure. But I think we're doing a show. But it'll be after I get home. So we will be doing that as well. Hope
I
everyone.
wanted to bring up one more thing. If I saw right, was tonight also for the Admirals, they were helping out cat shelter or something?
I believe so.
Yeah, I saw that and thought that was cool. We're both cat owners. It's
Yes.
it's always good to see whether what animal, it is when, animals need homes too and love. So,
Um, okay. Um, while we have time here,
yeah, we do actually have some time.
the Admirals with their W worked their way back from third place, where they were in a three-way tie with um the Wolves, Stars, the Wolves, Stars, and us were all in a three-way tie. I believe the Stars are off today. No, the Stars were a point ahead. The Wolves and the Admirals were in a tie for third. The Admirals, with their win, moved them back into second.
Okay.
Um, with that being said, the anybody who plays the Moose, have fun. They are not doing well. They are 1-8-0-1 in their last 10. The Wolves are 7-2-1, so they were coming in hot.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens there with that.
Another thing I wanted to bring up too with all this is I know it's still a couple months out, but just so everyone is aware of what day it is this year, the NHL deadline is March 7th.
well, and we'll be doing a show that day because the Admirals play the Wolves.
All right.
So you guys will be seeing us anyway. um, I'm not gonna get into that part of it. There are a few people I would trade right now, like Kebble. Kebble has been ice cold.
Now remind me, is it Kimmel's second or third year here?
I believe it is his second full season.
Okay. Because I know sometimes in the first three seasons you can have one that just doesn't work for you at all. I've seen it with several players.
Yeah. And given what we've seen over the last few years, you know, I wanted to go on and say ahead of time, congratulations to the Admirals as well on what they've done for attendance this year. Every game I've gone to, that building's been packed.
Yeah.
Like I was driving home in a pool of sweat because there were so many people there. It was hot. The
Yeah.
50-50 tonight was almost 4 grand. Like they've been doing great in the attendance department.
Right. They have.
And that's great because it's so helpful to when it means so much to me
Mm,
because I remember the days of the Bradley Center
right.
being empty.
I was just handed an update from one of our helpers. I did want to bring apparently to the attention that for the Predators, apparently the World Juniors are starting and 8 players are in the World Juniors that are in the Preds organization, apparently.
Correct. I posted that in the chat. I can get that list momentarily.
We still got over 10 minutes of record time. You're good.
It coming. Really. Eh. Yeah, there you go. All right, in the IIHF World Junior Championships, for Team Canada, you have Tanner Mullin, former Nashville Predator first round pick. Andrew Gibson, Nashville traded for him last season. David Enstrom is with Team Sweden. Viggo Gustafsson and Felix Nielsen is also with Team Sweden. Team USA is Joey Willis and Teddy Stiga. And Jacob Maluda. I'll get it eventually. He's with Team Czech Republic. Please do not be as bad as the last goalie here that was here from the Czech Republic. I didn't say that out loud. If you know, you know. At least it's not as bad as the last goalie who was here from Sweden. Because they were both here at the same time and were averaging giving up 4 goals a game. That was also the last year that Dean Evanson was our head coach. So, but I am glad to be back. I had a great holiday. I do have some family stuff going on. So if I do step away, and you see John more, just know that that is possibly why. I am going to keep that separate from this.
Right.
All I ask is that you guys, please, guys and gals, please keep us in your well wishes.
Right. And I'll come out and say this year hasn't been good health wise for me, which is why I've taken kind of a step back as well, except for the graphics. But we're going to continue to bring you this podcast as best as we can.
Yeah, we're gonna hold our head above water as long as we can without drowning. But I think it'll get a little easier once as we go.
January is a month to look forward to if you're a hockey fan. There's a ton of games.
I know I looked at it. There's just the Admirals alone have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 home games.
And 14 total.
Yeah. And then February they have 2, 3, 5,
7 home games.
games. March in 1 week we have 3.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But for that note, I thank you all for watching. Like I said, in a weird way, not to quote a song from Adam Sandler's movie that he's dropping a part 2 to, but we've only just begun.
Yeah.
It's weird that we're 3 months into hockey season, but literally it's only just begun. This is where it picks up.
Yeah.
This is where, as they say, they separate the men from the boys.
All right. This and then the All-Star break. How do you come back from that break and play for the rest of the season?
And if I'm Nashville, you gotta now.
Yep.
So you gotta put your foot on the gas and don't let up at all.
Right. I mean, they've been losing some, but they've been improving in the process. And that sometimes happens with teams when there's a whole big shift in rosters, which there was a pretty big shift in roster during the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised in the amount of money they were throwing around. So given that, we'll get into more. Like you said, we're back tomorrow versus the Wolves, and then we'll be back on Monday. If there is anything on the 31st, we will not be here that day.
Right.
Or the 1st. So till then, see you tomorrow.